Hey guys, Trader Worth the Risk here with the Crypto Collective. Just want to do a video for you guys on how to use the Binance margin platform because I've got a few messages from people. They seem to be pretty confused. So in my last video, I showed you how you can buy cryptocurrency and easily on Binance, and I brought some with my credit card on a brand new account, just $200. And I'm going to use this account just to give you guys a run through of all the different things on the platform. So the deposit came in the spot account, which I explained before. For trading, the main accounts are spot, margin, and futures. Futures is like the highly speculative, up to 125 times leverage. Margin is 3 times and 10 times. And spot is this traditional trading. So I'm going to show you margin, which margin and isolated are both under margin, and then USDT and coin futures are under futures. So to trade with cross and isolated, we can just transfer to the cross margin wallet here, or click margin and transfer. We'll click transfer and we'll select our token, Bitcoin, cross margin. We'll click this to switch them, spot to cross margin, Bitcoin. You can do your amount. I've already transferred some Bitcoin. It's an instant transfer, no fee, nothing. You know, it's in the same account. So we're going to click margin. And you're going to have to accept the screen's going to come up. You're going to have to activate your security measures to enter this. You're going to have to accept the terms and conditions. And just understand, guys, that this is borrowing money. So if you borrow money and the value of your account actually goes below what you've borrowed, you won't be able to withdraw from this particular part of the account. So just understand what you're doing if you're going to get involved in this kind of stuff. It's definitely not for people who are brand new. I would stay on spot trades until you get a bit of experience. And if you do have a bit of experience, the beautiful thing about this is, if you don't have much capital, you can leverage this platform to increase your capital in many different ways. So, you know, I've deposited $40 here, $38 Australian, which is 0.00224 in Bitcoin. And where people get confused here is they don't understand that the Binance platform, it gives you multiple ways to actually use the leverage. So I can open a trade on this 3 times leverage. It actually goes up to 5 times. I think because I haven't verified this account, maybe. So yeah, you can get up to 5 times on the cross. And just to explain the difference between cross and isolated, basically, let's say I have 5 positions open on cross margin and 2 of them are green, you know, they're in good profit. 2 of them are like down in bad profit, and one's just a bit of Bitcoin or US dollars just sitting in there, whatever. If those 2 positions in the red get liquidated, the cross margin and the Binance platform, it's actually going to use the other coins that you're holding and the other trades to kind of keep you in that position. So it's going to allow you more room on your liquidation. So not that you want to get liquidated anyway, but if you're trying to do a kind of long-term investing style of trading and you have not much capital, you can potentially come into this platform with 1,000, you can borrow 5 times, which means you have 5,000. And then if you're really smart and you don't over invest the money, if you keep a bit of the original token that you loaned, if you loaned Bitcoin, you keep some in your account. Because it's on 3 times, your liquidations, that some of them will be as far as 60 to 70% from your entry. So this kind of allows you to get that extra capital to do some long-term investing. It doesn't have all tokens, but it's got a pretty wide variety. And yeah, so just if you are going to jump on this, just understand the risks, make sure you calculate your positions, and you definitely don't want to be buying things at the top on this on a loan. You want to be learning to buy things that are at the bottom, you know, that have already sold off a lot. So at least if it goes down, your liquidation price is going to be pretty far, and your loan's going to stay, you know, okay. So this screen here on the margin, at the top you have cross, on the right you have isolated. Now isolated only has certain coins up to 10 times, 10 times margin. That means if it goes minus 10% on your long, you're going to lose 100% of what you got there. It's not like cross. There's going to be no thing to keep you in the trade. You will lose your money. So keep that in mind. It's definitely for advanced traders. It's high risk. So now I'll explain to you how we can use the cross margin. So here we've got our balance of Bitcoin. Now, if I want to trade on 3 times margin, which I have up here, I can borrow right now 0.05 Bitcoin. And I've actually got 3 times my amount. So if I want to trade now on margin, I can just click here. It's going to take me into the exchange. And I'll explain this a bit to you. Some guys are a bit confused, you know. So over here, you can see how it's clicked borrow. Now I just borrowed 3 times my money. I've already borrowed. So this is not relevant borrow anymore. I actually have to click normal. I think this is where people get confused. I'm already in the margin. I've loaned 3 times the amount. If I buy, if I go to buy, this is the search up here. It's got Bitcoin. So if let's go to TRX, Tron, as an example. We'll click Bitcoin and we're on TRX. So if I've just loaned 3 times my amount, if I want to buy the full thing in TRX, I will click make sure it's on normal because I've already borrowed. That's an important thing. Make sure it's on normal. I've got my order books here. I can put in my price. I can buy 100%. So that means 100% is 3 times the amount of 100% of what I had, because I've already borrowed, tripled my account size by 3 times. So that's broad. And also note, guys, that up here, there's 3 options: cross, isolated, and spot. Make sure you're not confusing yourself. You know, some tokens don't have all the options available, but there is a lot of them. And make sure the 2 important things, you're on the right area. Make sure you have normal clicked if you already borrow. So I just brought my full size in TRX. Now we're going to go back to wallet and margin. So you can see my account balance is 115, which is 3 times 38. I have like no Bitcoin, and I have 3 times the amounts in TRX. So I'm in a position in TRX with Bitcoin that I borrowed and my own capital. So if I want to check out this position, it's not like the futures where I can see my screen with my profit and loss while I'm trading. I use this for like an investment style of trading, and I use the futures platform for that style of trading. So I go to positions, hide low positions, and you're going to see here, I've got my TRX. I've borrowed 3 times the amount to buy it. It's got the price here, the position value, and it's got the liquidation price, which is minus 27% from my entry. Now let's see what happens. Now this is a long. I already borrowed the capital to increase my whole account, right? Let's see what happens if I take some TRX and I actually leave some Bitcoin in this account. It's going to actually increase the liquidation price. So if you're intelligent, you can use this to actually do long-term investing in a different way. So remember, we're going to click on normal. That's very important. It's gonna take a little bit to get it wide into your head. Click on normal and let's sell. We'll sell 50% of our TRX. Sorry, sell. Normal 50%. And now we'll go back to the, we can look here on positions, or yeah, sorry, funds. And we can see the equity value, the available balance. And yeah, here on positions, we can scroll down and we can actually see the position, the price, and the liquidation price. And remember, it was at, I think, 217. We just sold 50% of our TRX. Now we have minus 53% to our liquidation price. So if you keep a lot of capital in Bitcoin or US dollar and you use small position sizes for long-term buys, you can use this platform to increase your capital. And it's not too risky if you do it properly. So we'll go back to margin. And, we can go back to positions and we can see here, our liquidation price is minus 53.81%. But keep in mind, if you enter multiple trades, it's going to go, and the whole market goes down, the whole liquidation price is going to go up as your value of your account decreases. So that's why it's important when you use this, you have to keep some money as a backup in case of extreme market movements. If you're trying to long-term invest, you don't want to get shaken out for no reason. So make sure you do this in a smart way. You're not buying tokens at the top of pumps. You're buying tokens that have already had an extended downtrend. So if there's more downside, you're trying to keep it to a minimum, and you can actually add more at the very bottom if possible, which means your liquidation price is, if you get it right and you don't use too much capital in each trade and you save the larger capital for the trades at the bottom, you can actually do long-term investing with a lot more money and you don't have to worry about the liquidation. But make sure you work it out properly, the platform, how it works, before you go into this kind of stuff. So I showed you now how we can loan 3 times, we can borrow, buy Tron. And let's go back to our funds. Let's actually repay this loan. And I'm going to show you another way you can use the same platform to trade. Because I think some people won't like to borrow like that. And if you like the way it works on BitMEX, so what you have to do is, remember, we've already borrowed here. So we're going to go to normal. We want to get rid of this TRX. Let's just mark it, it doesn't matter. I'm only this account's just to show you guys. Get rid of it. All right, TRX is gone. We're back in the margin wallet. So we already loaned 3 times. We already brought the TRX, we just sold. We remembered to click normal. And we're going to go to repay. Because remember, we borrowed Bitcoin. And we're going to repay 100%. And then it's going to come up our profit and loss. We can view the details. We can really get nice data about our account here. But, I don't have to explain that much. You can just browse it yourself, look through it. So I showed you how we've increased our account by 3 times. We brought Tron, but how the fuck do we short? We're going to do it like this. If we want to short Tron, we're going to click on borrow Tron. We're actually going to borrow the Tron. So I have $40 worth of Tron now. I'm going to go to trade. remember you got to select, if you didn't come in through the margin section, you're going to select it up here. So I loaned $40 worth of Tron. I want to short. Now I'm going to actually click normal, and I'm going to market sell. Or normally, normally you'll limit, but here just for example purposes, we're going to market on normal. We're going to sell that TRX. So I've just actually sold $120 of TRX, but I owe them, sorry, I've sold $120 worth of TRX, but I owe them $40 of, $80 of TRX. So let's just say this dumps at 10%, and I want to take my profits and I want to actually repay that loan. I can go buy normal. I can buy 100% TRX, and then I've got the I've got the TRX to repay the loan, which I can do in the margin account, or I can actually click repay here, and if I slide to 100% and I repay buy, I'm buying 100% of my balance in TRX, and it's also going to repay any TRX I owe out of this trade because it's selected repay. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to kind of go over it briefly again. So I already borrowed 3 times the amount of my account in TRX. I've come into the trade, I've clicked normal, and I've sold it into US dollars. So I have 3 times the amount now in US dollars. When the price drops, I'm going to click buy, I'm going to click normal, and I'm going to buy back into TRX, and I'm going to go into wallet margin to repay, or I'm going to click repay, and I'm going to buy into TRX, and it's automatically going to repay. If I wanted to do a BitMEX style of trade, you won't loan. When you go to wallet margin, you won't loan nothing. You'll come straight into here, into the exchange. You'll click borrow, right? And then when you slide this to 100%, that is actually 3 times your account. So realistically, 50% is 1.5 times your whole account, right? If that's what you got here, and 100% is 100% of your account that you can have available to buy TRX times 3 because you're on borrow. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. So you can do it this way. You can borrow repay here, which is basically like you're constantly on 3 times margin, or 5 times if you get the verification, or you can go into wallet margin and you can borrow whatever cryptocurrency you want here. Under this tab, you can scroll down and you can borrow. So if you want to buy Bitcoin on leverage 3 times, you actually borrow US dollars to buy Bitcoin. If you want to trade alts and you want to make Bitcoin, you borrow Bitcoin and you trade alts. If you want to short, you borrow whatever token it is that you want to short. If I want to short Bitcoin, I borrow Bitcoin, I sell it to US dollars. Or I use the exchange and I click borrow. So if you don't understand anything, guys, just leave me a comment and I'm happy to explain it to you. That was the cross margin. And the isolated, it's basically a similar kind of thing, except that each account is separate. So if I want to trade Bitcoin on isolated margin, I have to transfer here some Bitcoin. Let's just do 0.01, whatever. And we're going to look in positions, all right? And you can see BTC USD position value is 0.1. So that means I just have, 0.1 Bitcoin in this account. That's it. It's not in a trade. There's no liquidation. But if I want to, I can actually go up here to trade classic or margin or advanced. It doesn't matter which one, because you can select the option here. And remember, we're on isolated times 10. We're going to click here and we're going to open. And always have it on normal by default, and then decide what you're going to do so you don't confuse yourself. And you can see we've got the 0.01 Bitcoin, but now we can actually click borrow and make sure if it doesn't work, you can re-click and it's going to refresh. Sometimes it bugs out. Just give you a heads up on that. So if I borrow here and I slide to 100%, I've actually got 0.1 Bitcoin total instead of 0.01. So I'm 10 times the amount. After I buy, you have to remember, if you click normal and you sell your whole position, it's not going to repay it automatically like it would on BitMEX. You've already borrowed, you already repaid. You have to click repay, or you have to go into wallet, margin, isolated, and repay there. So this is the 10 times margin. Down here, you've got your position where you can see your liquidation, your funds, trade history, order history. Here you've got your risk, your position. You've got limit, market, you've got your stop options. OCO is basically you make 2 orders and 1 order cancels out another. It's really advanced stuff. I don't use that at all. So up here you've got 10 times, 3 times spot. And back here you've got your cross margin, isolated margin. And remember, I just deposited some Bitcoin to trade 10 times. If I wanted to trade ADA 10 times leverage, I actually have to deposit ADA here or Bitcoin in here. Each wallet is isolated to itself. Whereas cross margin, I can just deposit the Bitcoin and trade whatever I want. So this is more high risk. And, you know, I made no trade on that Bitcoin there. I can click transfer. I can go from isolated wallet to spot and transfer back out. If I've borrowed, made a trade, I can't transfer out until I've repaid the debt, which you can see here under positions. So I hope this has explained the platform a bit to you guys, because I know there's been a lot of people confused. If you use this in conjunction with the mobile app, it becomes a bit more convenient, because you can look at your positions really easily. If you're doing quick kind of trades, you want to see your percentages, then I would recommend the futures platform, and stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to go into how to use the Binance futures platform. So I hope you liked the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.